A system of inequalities asks us to graph two inequalities and look for their shared solutions. Y is greater than 2/5 x plus 3 will have its own infinite list of solutions. 3x minus y is greater than or equal to 4 will have its own list of infinite solutions. Both of those lists are most easily shown in a graph, but we are going to look for the intersection or the overlap of those two spaces. So starting first with our first equation, y is greater than 2/5 x plus 3. Here's our intercept of 3. We're going to go up 2 and over 5 units, and we're going to draw our line. We're going to be very careful to draw our line as a dotted line, as that inequality does not have an equal to. The second line is going to be a little bit tougher to graph. We're going to solve for y by subtracting 3x to the right, then dividing by -1. We see that the sign changes in the inequality because we divided by a negative. We're going to start at an intercept of -4. We're going to go up 3 and over 1. And it might be beneficial because we're going to do a solid line here to do one more of those. We're going to go up 3 and over 1 again. And we're going to draw our line this way. And when we're doing our determination for the direction of the shading, we're going to look back at our equations that are, our inequalities that ended up with y is greater than, y is less than. So back at the beginning of the red equation, the red inequality, back at the beginning of the red inequality, we see the greater than symbol. So we want to make sure that we're shading everything that is above that line. When we look back at our green inequality, we see that we are less than or equal to. So we want to shade everything that is below that inequality. Now, drawing down here is a little bit easier to see it, but you can see as you get towards the top that we're going to have this double shaded space up in here. That's going to be where our solution space is. So we would anticipate, if we were to choose a point from that space, that it would work in both of the inequalities, not just one of them. Now, this graph is a little misleading. That looks like an incredibly small space for the solutions. But you have to remember that our green line is going to continue on forever. Our red line is going to continue on forever. And we're always going to stay above red and below green. So we should keep getting points that are in that space. That infinitely large space is the overlap of two infinitely large spaces. We want to see that we have an overlap and we know where we can find those points that are going to work in both of the inequalities.